Snap Science is a whole school approach for science, with a really clear progression of the knowledge and skills needed across years 1 to 6. But it's flexible. So it's a toolkit, with the way I would describe it, that covers all aspects of planning, teaching and assessing the new curriculum. But it's flexible for teachers to bring their professional judgment and skills to and make it fit within their own school. There's been some real experts writing on it, really good teachers who know their stuff, have got lots of experience, but also are really focused on the science. And they've taken the new curriculum, really thought about it, thought about how it can be taught well, what the science ideas are that underpin it, what's the science inquiry or the working scientifically, the way that children will engage with it, and have developed a really comprehensive series of lessons and lesson sequences to cover each topic within the new programme of study. What's been really exciting about working on Snap Science is that we've been able to bring a lot of good practice that's been developed over the last 10 or more years in science teaching and learning in primary schools into this publication, and that's really exciting. So we've got some really good pedagogy, which represents the research that's been ongoing in the last few years about how children best learn science. So a lot of the assessment for learning ideas, a lot of the ideas about using talk effectively, about children sharing and developing their ideas, that's integral to this. The other thing that's integral to it is the idea of teacher assessment being based around a wide range of evidence of children's learning, not reduced to a simple answer the question, name this, know the name of this, fill in this graph. It's very much based around the sort of things that children do every day when they're learning science. Snap Science, I think, supports children in many ways to learn science effectively and enjoyably. Firstly, the lessons are great. There's really good stuff in there, really engaging activities for children, authentic activities. They're properly going to be answering questions, so it's purposeful and real. It's not contrived. The lessons are really good. It's also very flexible, so children's questions are built into it. So every lesson starts with finding out what it is that children already know and what they want to know. So it's guided by the teacher, but there's the children's questions. Their agency is crucial to this. That's very important. There's also ensuring that assessment is ongoing throughout it, so children are aware of what they're learning, what they're going to learn, what they have learned. That's built through it very clearly. And also the way that Snap Science has been designed so that every lesson gives every child the opportunity to engage with the ideas at a level or a challenge level that's appropriate to them. So there is differentiation, but it's differentiation by access, so that all children can access the ideas. We're not saying through this that some children will go a bit further than others. We're saying that all children will have an opportunity to engage with the ideas, understand the science, but every lesson will be challenging, and that's built in through every single lesson in the programme. Snap Science is different because, firstly, it addresses the new curriculum, so there's stuff in it that hasn't been in previous resources for primary schools. So that's one thing that makes it different. It meets all the requirements of the new programme of study. I think it's different than it's flexible. I've always been quite resistant to schemes because it feels to me that they stop that idea of teacher engagement or teacher professionalism. What Snap Science does is say, this is a toolkit for you to use to fit in with your curriculum planning, the needs of your class. A lot of the work, the hard thinking's been done for you in terms of ensuring that the science is clear, the progression is clear, the big ideas are explained fully, but actually the flexibility is in there for teachers to use it in a way that makes sense in their classroom, in their school. So it'll provide them with a toolkit. It's different in that teacher assessment is not something that, or the assessment is teacher assessment and it's ongoing. So it's not, here's your 6 weeks of lessons and here's the assessment unit at the end. What happens is the assessment happens throughout, and teachers, there will be times when it's perhaps appropriate to record a child's achievement in that area, but it's not about learn, then end of unit test, do end of unit test. It's very much ongoing assessment throughout. It's different because there's all of the new stuff that we're able to do now. The digital resources are immense and rich and useful and will be added to, and that is a real benefit that we haven't been able to have before just because of the technology. So we've got a wide bank of digital resources, and it'll mean it works with all the new technology that's being used in primary classrooms, the iPads, the interactive whiteboards. If you've got them, if you haven't, there's still all the stuff there that you can use as well. Snap Science has taken the key ideas of assessment for learning to its heart, really, and the whole resource is based around the strategies that underpin good assessment for learning. So there are very, very clear learning intentions in that, and also the criteria for success to help children understand how they're achieving that learning intention. So every lesson has a very clear learning intention. The learning intentions are phrased around the skills, so the skills that children will use, and then contextualised in the subject knowledge. So the working scientifically and the conceptual knowledge are brought together through the learning intention, and children are given very clear guidance about what success will look like. But that guidance is open. It's not closed. It's not closing it down. It's opening up what they may achieve. There's plenty of opportunities in every single lesson for effective classroom talk, for children to use discussion effectively, for children to collaborate on activities or to work on activities on their own, but all activities that will definitely elicit evidence of learning. Every activity, every teaching and every learning activity is an assessment opportunity. The resource helps teachers to give feedback to children that will help them to move forward. So the resource very clearly states the sort of evidence of learning that you might see or would hope to see, and how to give feedback that will move children on. A key idea that's underpinned the resource is about children being responsible for their own learning within it. Obviously the teachers are guiding that learning, they're understanding clearly where they want children to get to by the end of a lesson or by the end of a sequence of lessons. But within each lesson, a child has autonomy to decide what they're going to do within that lesson, and reflect upon their own learning within it as well. And that's really crucial, the child's own agency within the activities.